Listen carefully, because I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to wake you up. You chose this loser life, and I can already hear the excuses forming in your head. You want to argue. You want to tell me about your unlucky childhood, about how unfair life has been, about how everyone else got opportunities that you didn't. But none of that changes the truth. Every day, you wake up and you make choices, and those choices have consequences. The life you're living right now is not the result of bad luck. It's the result of your decisions. You built it brick by brick with every lazy morning, every excuse, every time you said, "I'll do it tomorrow." Look around your life right now. The money in your bank account, the strength in your body, the respect people give you, or the lack of it, it's all a reflection of the choices you've made. If you're broke, it's not because the universe hates you, it's because you've chosen habits that keep you broke. If you're weak, it's because you've chosen comfort over training. If you're stuck in the same place year after year, it's because you've chosen not to grow. Nobody forced you into mediocrity. You volunteered. The harsh truth is you like to believe you're a victim of circumstance, but really you're a victim of your own laziness. And the most dangerous thing about this is that you've gotten used to it. Mediocrity has become normal for you. Wasting time has become natural. Living below your potential has become routine. You don't even see it anymore because you've trained yourself to accept it as your reality. That's why you feel trapped. That's why you feel stuck. Because you keep pretending that life is happening to you when in reality, life is responding to you. Think about it. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. When you skip the gym, you're voting for weakness. When you waste hours scrolling through your phone, you're voting for distraction. When you choose sleep over discipline, you're voting for failure. And those votes add up. They accumulate over time until one day you wake up and realize you've built a life you don't even respect. And that's the most painful part. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You know you're not living at your maximum potential. That's why you're restless. That's why you feel empty. Because you're lying to yourself every day, choosing the easy way, and pretending you'll change tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow is the graveyard where losers bury their dreams. Tomorrow is the excuse you use to escape responsibility. And while you keep promising yourself that you'll get serious tomorrow, life keeps passing by. Opportunities keep slipping away. Your future keeps getting smaller. Until one day you're old, you're bitter, and you realize the cruel reality. You didn't lose because the world was unfair. You lost because you kept choosing to be a loser. Every single thing in your life right now is a reflection of your choices. That's the reality most people don't want to hear. They want to believe in fate, in luck, in some magical force outside of their control. They want to think success is reserved for the chosen few, the lucky ones, the people born into the right family at the right time. But that's just a comfortable lie. The truth is much harder to swallow. The truth is your life is built on the choices you make every single day, and whether you rise or whether you fall, it's in your hands. You think missing one workout doesn't matter. You think hitting the snooze button one more time doesn't matter. You think wasting one more hour on social media doesn't matter. But it does, because it's never just one choice. It's the habit of choices. It's the accumulation of hundreds of small decisions stacked day after day that shape who you are. That's why success and failure look so different from the outside, but are built in exactly the same way. One man chooses discipline every morning, chooses to push himself past his limits, chooses to sacrifice comfort, and years later he's untouchable. Another man chooses laziness, chooses distraction, chooses excuses, and years later he's invisible. This is the power of choice. It's not dramatic, it's not cinematic, it's not one big moment where everything changes. It's small, it's boring, it's repetitive. And that's why losers ignore it. They think they can get away with it. They think one day won't hurt. One decision doesn't matter, but it does because it sets the standard you live by. Every time you choose weakness, you reinforce weakness. Every time you choose strength, you reinforce strength. And eventually, your life becomes nothing more than the story of your repeated decisions. Winners understand this. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for perfect circumstances. They don't sit around hoping life will change for them. They choose. They choose to get up when they don't feel like it. They choose to do the work when no one is watching. They choose to focus while everyone else is distracted. They choose to take risks while everyone else is playing it safe. And because of those choices, life gives them rewards the average man will never touch. Losers, on the other hand, make the opposite choices. They choose comfort over growth. They choose procrastination over action. They choose short-term pleasure over long-term success. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why they're unhappy. They wonder why nothing changes. But nothing changes because they don't change their choices. You are not controlled by destiny. You are controlled by your decisions. Every morning you wake up, you're standing at a crossroads. One road leads to strength, success, power, freedom. The other leads to weakness, regret, mediocrity, chains. And the road you walk down isn't chosen once in your life. It's chosen every single day in every small decision you make. That's the power of choice. It will either build you into something unbreakable, or it will quietly destroy you. The biggest disease in the modern world isn't poverty, it isn't hunger, it isn't even sickness. It's victim mentality. Everyone wants to play the victim. Everyone wants to believe the reason they're stuck, broke, and miserable is because somebody else is holding them down. You hear it everywhere. People cry about their childhood, about their parents, about their boss, about the economy, about the system, about the government. They've got an endless list of people and things to blame, and that's why they never move forward. Because if you can blame the world, then you never have to look in the mirror. But here's the brutal truth: blaming others is the ultimate weakness. It's the easy way out, because as long as you point your finger at someone else, you give away your power. You're saying, I'm not in control, I'm helpless, I'm stuck. And that is exactly why you stay where you are. Winners don't play that game. Winners don't have time to cry about what's unfair. Winners look at the same world, with the same challenges, with the same unfairness, and they say, so what? I'll still win. Life has always been unfair. Some people are born rich, some are born poor, some are born strong, some are born weak, some are born into stable families, others into chaos. That's reality. But winners understand that crying about the hand you've been dealt doesn't change the game. You can't control the cards, but you can control how you play them. And the man who plays a weak hand with discipline and strategy will always beat the man who throws away a strong hand with excuses. Ownership is what separates the winners from the losers. When you own everything in your life, you take back control. If you're broke, you say, it's my fault. If you're weak, you say, it's my fault. If you're unhappy, you say, it's my fault. And the moment you take that responsibility, you unlock the ability to change it. Because if it's your fault, then it's also within your power to fix. That's the mindset losers never develop. They'd rather protect their ego by blaming someone else than face the truth that they wasted their own potential. Look, nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody's coming to rescue you. Nobody feels sorry for you. The world doesn't hand out medals for suffering. The only thing people respect is results. And results come from ownership. When you stop whining and you start owning, you force yourself to act. You stop waiting for life to be fair, and you start making yourself strong enough to win, even when it isn't. This is why you see men who had nothing rise to the top. This is why you see men who were counted out, who had every reason to fail, become unstoppable. They refuse to see themselves as victims. They refused to waste time blaming the world. They decided everything was their responsibility. And when everything is your responsibility, you gain the power to change everything. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants money, freedom, respect, power. But here's what most people don't understand. Success demands a price. And the price isn't cheap. The price is discipline. The price is sacrifice. And most of you are not willing to pay it. You want the rewards without the grind. You want the trophy without the training. You want the life of a king while living with the habits of a peasant. That's why you stay stuck where you are. Discipline is the real currency of success. Not motivation, not talent, not luck. Discipline. The ability to do what you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has left you. The ability to get up when you don't feel like it, to keep working when you're tired, to push through when your mind is screaming for comfort. That's the difference between men who win and men who fail. Losers are controlled by their feelings. Winners are controlled by their discipline. And discipline always comes with sacrifice. You cannot have both. You cannot live like everyone else and expect to be exceptional. You cannot spend your nights partying, wasting time, chasing cheap thrills, and then cry about why you're not successful. The man who chooses to sacrifice comfort now is the man who gets to enjoy real freedom later. The man who sacrifices his mornings to build his body, his nights to build his mind, his weekends to build his business. That's the man who becomes untouchable. But here's the reality that breaks most people. Sacrifice feels painful in the moment. Discipline feels heavy. Waking up early hurts. Saying no to distractions hurts. Grinding while others are relaxing hurts. And because it hurts, people quit. They don't realize that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. You can suffer for a few years of sacrifice, or you can suffer for a lifetime of mediocrity. Those are your choices. Look at anyone you admire. Look at any man who has built real wealth, real strength, real power. Behind him are years of sacrifice, years of choices nobody saw, years of discipline that didn't get applause, years of work that nobody celebrated. Because success is forged in silence. The world only sees the results, but it never sees the nights he stayed awake while others slept, the mornings he dragged himself out of bed while others hit snooze, the endless repetitions, the constant grind. That's the hidden price of greatness. And if you're not willing to pay it, you don't deserve it. The truth is, most of you are addicted to comfort. You avoid sacrifice like it's poison. You're terrified of struggle, terrified of pain, terrified of missing out on little pleasures. But here's the paradox. It's the exact sacrifices you avoid that would have freed you. Comfort is the enemy. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you deserve to rest. You deserve to relax. You deserve to take it easy. But every time you listen, you trade your future for temporary relief. Discipline and sacrifice may feel like chains now, but they are the only path to freedom. Comfort is the most dangerous addiction in the world. It doesn't look like a drug. It doesn't look like a bottle. It doesn't look like a vice, but it kills more dreams than anything else ever could. Comfort feels safe, it feels warm, it feels easy, but that's why it's lethal. It's a silent trap. The moment you settle into comfort, you stop growing. The moment you choose comfort, you choose mediocrity. And the sad truth is, most people spend their entire lives bowing down to comfort like it's their God. You've been told your whole life to chase comfort. Get a secure job, get a steady paycheck, get a nice house, watch your shows, relax, take it easy. That's the script society sold you, and you bought it. But let me ask you, where has it gotten you? You're comfortable, but you're not fulfilled. You're comfortable, but you're not powerful. You're comfortable, but deep down you know you're wasting your potential. Because comfort never builds greatness. Comfort is where men rot. Every man who has ever achieved something extraordinary had to break free from comfort. He had to walk into discomfort on purpose. He had to put himself in situations where he was stretched, where he was tested, where he was forced to grow. Because growth only comes from discomfort. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Minds don't sharpen without pressure. Businesses don't expand without risk. If you keep living inside the bubble of comfort, you will never discover what you're capable of. The truth is, your comfort zone is not a safe place. It's a cage. It looks like protection, but really it's a prison cell. The walls are made of fear, fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of pain. And as long as you keep choosing comfort, those walls will keep you trapped, small and weak. You'll convince yourself you're safe, but the reality is you're just stuck. And one day you'll look back and realize you didn't live a life, you just existed inside a padded box. The strongest men deliberately destroy their comfort zones. They chase the cold, they chase the grind, they chase the situations where most people fold. Because they understand that if you can thrive in discomfort, you become unstoppable. You learn to control your mind, to bend your emotions, to master your impulses. You learn that pain doesn't break you, it builds you. You learn that fear doesn't stop you, it sharpens you. And the moment you accept discomfort as a normal part of life, you gain a freedom that comfortable men will never taste. But here's the problem. You love comfort too much. You love the warm bed, the easy food, the lazy entertainment. You think you're avoiding pain, but what you're really doing is guaranteeing a different kind of pain. The pain of regret. The pain of knowing you could have been so much more. The pain of realizing you traded your future for cheap pleasures. Comfort doesn't save you, it slowly suffocates you. Breaking free means making a choice to embrace struggle, a choice to step into situations that scare you, a choice to deliberately put yourself in places that force you to grow. And once you do that consistently, you realize something powerful. Discomfort doesn't kill you, it transforms you. Every time you face it, you become sharper, stronger, harder to break. That's how you rise. That's how you separate yourself from the masses who waste their lives chasing comfort. You've heard the truth. You've heard that your choices got you here. You've heard that comfort is your prison. You've heard that discipline and sacrifice are the only keys to freedom. Now the question is simple. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep nodding your head, agreeing with everything, then go right back to the same habits that built the loser life you claim to hate? Or are you finally going to stand up and rewrite the script of your life? Because make no mistake, the pen is in your hand. Nobody else is writing your story. Every day you wake up, you're holding the power to decide what kind of man you're going to become. Right now, you're living in the reality of your past decisions. The body you have, the money you have, the respect you command, the life you're living. It's all a reflection of what you've chosen up until this point. But the future is unwritten. The future is waiting on you to choose differently. The beautiful thing about life is that it doesn't care about your excuses, it doesn't care about your past, it doesn't care about your pain. Life only responds to action. If you want something different, you have to start making different choices today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when it's convenient. Today. And don't get it twisted. Rewriting your life is not about making one grand gesture. It's about deciding over and over again that you will not accept mediocrity. It's about training your mind and body until discipline becomes your default setting. It's about saying no to the easy path and yes to the hard one every single time. The man you dream of becoming is built through daily choices. He's waiting on the other side of the laziness, the excuses, the procrastination. But you'll never meet him if you keep living like the weaker version of yourself. Ask yourself this: what do you want your life to look like 5 years from now? Do you want to be in the same place, telling the same stories, making the same excuses, living the same loser life? Or do you want to be unrecognizable, stronger, richer, sharper, respected? The difference between those two futures comes down to the choices you start making right now. Every action is a vote. Every choice is a step toward one of those versions of yourself. Which one are you building? Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. None of that is coming. All you have is you, your will, and the choices you make. And that's enough. It's always been enough. The men who rise, the men who win, the men who dominate life, they're not different from you. They just stopped lying to themselves. They stopped wasting time. They stopped choosing weakness. They made the decision to rewrite their lives, and they backed it up with relentless action. You've been told the harsh truth that you chose this loser life. You've been shown the power of choice, the reality that every action you take is carving out the future you'll live in. You've been forced to face the fact that victim mentality is poison and ownership is the cure. You've been reminded that discipline and sacrifice are the price of success, and comfort is the trap that keeps you chained in mediocrity. And now you've been given the call, the choice to rewrite your life, starting now, starting today. Everything you need is already inside you. Not tomorrow, not in some fantasy world, not when conditions are perfect right now. The only question is whether you'll keep choosing excuses or whether you'll finally choose greatness. Because nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you discipline or force you into success. It's you versus you. And the man you decide to be today is the man who will dominate your tomorrow. You can walk away from this and go back to the comfort, back to the laziness, back to the same weak choices that have been destroying you. Or you can stand up, face the mirror, and say, enough. Enough wasting time. Enough living small. Enough choosing weakness. From this moment forward, you choose strength, you choose discipline, you choose sacrifice, you choose ownership, and most importantly, you choose to never again accept a loser's life.